Alright students, fine girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, once again a very good evening to one and all to the Code Ark. Okay, fine. Alright. Okay, this is myself Shabna, as I said you from the Code Ark, aiming to deliver coding, AI, ML, data science and many more programming languages delivery to all. Alright, fine. Hope you all are fine as well as in the rhythm of the festival, enjoying to your best, but at the same time, do not forget to keep preparing yourself or keeping yourself prepared for the sessions as much as you can. Alright, okay. I hope I am not missing out on any messages. Take it, fine. I'm audible as well as visible to everyone. If that is the case, please acknowledge to us in the chat section. Okay, fine. Um, Good. Thank you. Okay, fine. People, a quick recap of what we have learned in the last two classes. In fact, we started with CSS after completing, I can't say everything, but a lot of, in fact, whatever basics required, at least that much of HTML. Alright, there is much about HTML that will keep coming up as and when we explore and as and when we develop the websites. Yes, okay, thank you, Ravi. Fine. Hmm, okay, take it. Number two, or let me say, to start with a recap. Some one or two sessions ago, we started with CSS. CSS is used to style HTML page or elements of an HTML page in the website. We learned about different CSS properties, like we can make use of CSS border properties, border color, border style, border width. We can make use of CSS margin properties, like how much margin you want to set in the window from top, left, right, bottom. Okay, this margin properties and the padding properties are also applicable to your mobile phone screen. Alright, we are working best upon bringing Android development course, but that will be in the middle or post October. That will be too much otherwise on your head. I hope you got my point. Is it clear? Fine. And therein we will discuss about how to create an iOS app or maybe Android app or maybe using some languages like Swift and JavaScript and so on. Yes. Good evening, Wasim. Fine. Next, we also learned some good font properties like font family, which can be set, font size, font color, and so on. We also studied different types of CSS tags or different type of CSS rule. Am I right? You can call it as a selector rule, or maybe a class rule, or maybe a ID rule, and so on. Okay, fine. We have also studied the use of division tag, which is one of the most important tag found in HTML as well as CSS. Is that clear? Fine. Okay, now listen to our strategy carefully. Alright, today once again we will go through some other, not basic but a little advanced properties of CSS. I raise our standard high and we learn some advanced properties of CSS. Number two, at the end of the class today, I will introduce a small JavaScript to you all. This is on demand of the audiences. Okay, some of them are having their exams coming up. Some of them are working on web development projects and they want JavaScript to be taught. Right, so what you will do from tomorrow, we will be studying JavaScript and CSS together. Alright, CSS अभी आपको अच्छा खासा आता है. Even that much knowledge of CSS you take in the beginning and start, it's more than enough. But friends, we keep receiving, let me speak one thing in between here, we keep receiving a lot of queries and messages from the people who attend live as well as people who attend non-live, that will we get certificate, will we get internship, will we get job assurance. See, we are trying to put up the best efforts from our end, at least, yes, for certificates. Am I right? But at the same time, attending this 1 hour class just is not a justice to development. You have to need an equal amount of practice back at home. ऑलराइट, सो प्लीज हार्डकोर प्रैक्टिस, एक आध घंटा आधा घंटा ऐसा सेट कर दो बाजू में कि भाई मुझे इतना मेहनत इतना काम करना ही है, तो अब जाके बात बनेगी. इज दैट क्लियर? फाइन. चलिए, so this is day 10 today, and if I'm not wrong, CSS part 3 or 4, I call it as part 3 only. Even if you started last time, there were some things pending to be done. Okay, mostly this is the agenda of our class today. These are all advanced CSS properties, people. This is an advanced CSS. ये सब सीखने के लिए आपको पहले से CSS हल्का फुल्का आना चाहिए. Alright, fine. If you have missed out on our classes for any reason, please watch our recordings of day 8 and day 9. You will get a lot of things clear. Okay, so we are going to learn today colors, how CSS deals with color, how does it provide you the variety of color option which otherwise was difficult to achieve with HTML alone. Alright, then comes CSS Gradients, then come 2D transformation, whereas CSS even support 3D transformation. Okay, in the session today I have taken up only 2D. वो time लेगा people, it takes time to be understood. Alright, and in the end whatever time permit for CSS we will do. Otherwise I will just give you a kickstart of JavaScript and go ahead. I hope you got it. Is that okay? So this is what our rhythm will be. We completed a good part of HTML. That is basic tags of HTML: table, list, link, frames. Am I right? As well as form. Responsive website, Naveen, most probably I will be doing it with you tomorrow. Is it okay? Or remind me at the end of session today itself by 4:50. Okay, if time permit I'll show you quick responsiveness. Otherwise have patience. We have entire session for responsive website coming up tomorrow. Is it okay? Okay, fine. So I was talking about the portion of HTML that we completed. Then we started with CSS, completed some basics of CSS. Now this is how we will go for the next 10 days. I hope you are listening to me. अगले 10 दिन का schedule. Alright, we will be learning more of JavaScript and somewhat of CSS together. Now whether it takes 10 days or it takes 12 days, etc., that we will manage. Now for any reason if you miss out the class, because we don't want to cancel now, I hope you got my point, right? If any reason you miss out the class, you make sure that you catch our recording non-live back. Is it okay? So after these 10 days or 12 days or 15 days maybe of JavaScript duration is over, alright, then we will come back to Bootstrap. I hope you got my point. Bootstrap is like giving another additional effects to your HTML pages or websites. I hope you got my point. Alright, acha. After that, then we will introduce Python to you. How to develop applications with Python. I hope you got my point. Python will take a deep coverage of Python will take another 15 to 20 days. But when Python starts, that will be along with assignment. I hope you got my point. Okay, like each day after the session, we will be posting some 2 to 3 questions, and those assignments need to be submitted to us. How, where, we'll speak that time. That's for Python. Then we need another 5 to 10 days for SQL. Python learned, SQL learned, you can understand a lot of connectivity. So we will expose ourselves to Django. I hope you got my point. Okay, this is how the modern days websites are built using Python, Django, and a lot of HTML, CSS, JavaScript framework. Alright, fine. Then we'll also learn how to use or how to code a page in a React.js framework as well as an Angular framework. I hope you got my point. Okay, any doubts or queries from your end, you can easily post us on WhatsApp or maybe comment in the comment section. We are ready to answer you. For detailed syllabus to come, you still have to wait for a couple of days. Our team is working behind. Alright, our team is working behind. So this all together will take, if we are on time, our sessions are not cancelled for any reason, either from your side or from our side. Okay, so this will take around 4 to 5 months. Okay, when I say 5 months, means it will also cover up a project in the coding part. Is that clear? And also add API, ma'am. We try our best now. Okay, now when I say Django, mostly we will try to design Django syllabus with REST API framework. Alright, for those who have never heard about all these, you don't have to break your head. You only have to be consistent in attending the classes and solving the practice question. अंडरस्टूड. 4-5 महीने के बाद में ये पूरा एफर्ट आपको कई लेवल और आगे लेकर जाएगा. Alright, as of now, even if you know HTML and somewhat of CSS and JavaScript coming up, it's okay, that's fine. Okay, with time and session, lecture by lecture, you will become an expert automatically. Again, to remind you, with practice. I hope you got my point. हम जो 1 घंटे में करते हैं सब्जेक्ट उतना ही है, ऐसा नहीं है. Is it okay? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, it's a big ocean. In fact, people spend entire career working behind it. हमारा पूरा करियर खत्म हो जाता है बाहर. So that's not, you have to be restricted to the content of the curriculum. Is it okay? So practice is the key. That's must. Yeah, okay, fine, good. I think version control system you asked me last time also, right, Naveen? If I'm not wrong, that was you only. Okay, take it. It's right in my mind. It's right in my mind. Chaliye. Starting from CSS colors or maybe even before that. Okay, even before that, the first topic, let me show you how to give special effect to some tags like a paragraph tag or an H1 tag. You know, this kind of effects ideally come in front of you on a web page or in a mobile app. Okay, how often we use GPay or Paytm? How often we use maybe Netflix or Hotstar or at least maybe, you know, WhatsApp. Is it right? Or maybe some good common examples of the app like Uber, Ola. I don't know from countries like Thailand or Indonesia or Vietnam, if anyone is here out. You do have Uber, Ola or any other app service. We aren't aware. Is that okay? Fine. So if you look into these apps or if you look into the website desktop application of Amazon, see how properly they give effect in the form of border or maybe lightning or maybe shading. Have a look. See. So this is what the project we are working in. Okay, this is what the project. I'm using a folder called as Data in Visual Studio Code. Let me create a new file. Say Data program1.css. Another file, Data program2.html. Okay, so there is one program, a CSS file, second program who is an HTML file. Alright, let me create a sample HTML page first. So this is HTML. HTML starts. Good if you specify the language in which you have coded the page. That's English. Am I right? That's English. Okay, this is a head part of the page. Head contains title and many more tag. So let me say this is date and full stack. Okay, now since we are working with external CSS, we need to import the file in our current HTML page. So which tag helps us to include outside CSS file in the current HTML document? That's a link tag. Correct? Okay. Name and path of the CSS file. Hello guys. Name and path of an external CSS file you want to link with your HTML file. So that is day1 program1.css or day10 program1, whatever is the name. But always remember, this is a many a times common question asked by the students. What is the relationship of this foreign element, or what is the relationship of this outside file with the current page? So relationship is, it's a style sheet. Am I right? This is a style sheet. So that's all about the head part as of now. This is body, and say body has a paragraph. Paragraph says welcome to my page. That's it, something like that. I save this. I go live. Although you know various other methods in Visual Studio Code to run the program. Am I right? We have a live preview extension installed. You can check the code that way also. You can use a start command on the terminal to run the HTML program also. go live being easiest of the way. Anyways, we are here. So this is the output of the paragraph tag and this is the title of the page. Is it okay? Okay. Now look what I do. I go to CSS. I give some style to my paragraph. So I'm very clear this style should be applied only to paragraph, not any class or any tag or any ID. Okay. Say I want background color, say let me take any of these. Okay, I take caded blue. Background color, keep checking. So that's how it becomes. Okay. I want some width and height. So this is how we set width. Let me take 100 pixel. Height also 100 pixel. Let's check the output. Otherwise more, less, tall, short will set accordingly or adjust accordingly. So alright, I want width a little more, people. Now this question comes what Navin asked me in the beginning, responsiveness. I hope you got my point. Okay, there are several CSS properties which help you make the width fit as per the screen size. Understood? Now what is the problem here? We have to adjust. देखिए, welcome to my page में से my page has come down, correct? So what we have to do, we don't have to bother about how much width should I set. Whatever is the device width. If mobile phone is my device, so this is the width of the phone. Right now laptop screen in front of me is a device where I'm executing. So laptop screen width should be my width. Am I right? Fine. So how automatically adjust the width of the device? ताकि हमको ना कैलकुलेट करना पड़े, and how automatically adjust the background or image or text as per the width of the device. That is called as web responsiveness. Alright, fine, we'll come to that, have patience, but let me increase the width here and adjust something, say instead of 100 I call it as 500. I think I change the height. Okay, let me change width here. Okay, this is something how it looks. Now what can I do here, let me say border radius. Okay, you want your set radius in pixel. I have a habit of setting radius in percentage, so I say 25%. Okay, border radius, check it out how it looks. Are you getting it? I hope you got my point. Now you can see welcome to my page is going little outside the border, so no problem. Set some padding. Padding इसीलिए होता है, right people? Padding हम इसीलिए देते हैं, correct? If you give the padding, means it will come automatically inside the border with some spaces defined. So if I write like this, padding 10 pixel, let's check. Okay, 20 pixel, let's check. Well, if I give another 20 pixel, okay, that sounds good. Am I right? Padding left, padding right, padding top, padding bottom. Okay, and instead of 25%, if I make it 20%, so this is how it is becoming rounded corners. I hope you got my point. Alright, fine. If you find the height is too big, reduce the height. Maybe not 100, somewhere 50 pixel. Half the height of the page. Is it okay? Fine. Alright, you can set some border color. This is the mixture of what we have already studied so far. अब तक जो हम already पढ़ चुके हैं, correct? Fine. So what can I do? Let me say border color. Okay, aqua. Let me take that. Is it? No. Okay. Then let us set border width. If aqua is too light, let me take something blue kind of. Okay, something blue kind of. Alright, if that is also too not affecting, so let me say border width 5 pixel. I hope I'm saving 15 pixel. Or let me try this way, border type. Okay, border style people. You have remembered before giving color to the border, we actually need to give style. So this is border style, which is either solid or dotted. See, these were the styles. Either solid or double or dotted or dash. I give a solid one. So this is where what it is now. This was the mistake. And now you want, you can change the border color. Blue or red or green, whatsoever. Alright. You want to give some background color as well. Not background color. Let me say background image. Okay. I have just one image here, maybe rose or rose.jpg. I'm using rose.jpg. Now my problem is what, rose.jpg is a very big file. It may or may not fit inside that particular border. So what can we do? Oh, see, it is not. So I change it. I have made it a little small one. You saw? I hope you got my point. You want, then you can set the width and height as well. Width and height as well. Or you want, you can even set no repeat. Remember? My friend, background image, background repeat should be no repeat and all. So that it doesn't keep repeating. Is that clear? Fine. So this is only to show you how you can just set an image only within a particular border and not on the body of the entire page. How you can have the rounded corners. Alright, and suppose let me get rid of this border image for a moment of time. And this was border radius, right? And suppose if I give radius 2 times, 20% and 20%, you see how it keeps changing. Alright, and suppose if I gave it little different, say 30%, it's changing. You could see from left it is becoming a little tinted. So if I change it to 60%, I hope you're getting my point. 60 if it is too much, let us change it to 40%, and so on. I hope you got my point. Is it okay? Fine. So this is what are the different kinds of CSS effects that we can give it to the shape or maybe border or maybe boundaries, etc. I hope you got. If time permit, I also show you. Like if I do not want the border as a line or as a style, solid, dash or double, I want the border to be some image. Not background people, border as an image. Will you try? Take it as a homework. Okay, set border of a block as an image. जिधर आपको ये blue line दिख रहा है, this should be full of images instead of a solid line. Alright, you try. Try करके देखिए. Fine. Alright people, now check it out. Instead of using some defined colors, okay, from here pay attention please. यहाँ से ध्यान दो थोड़ा सा. Okay, like when I say colon, Visual Studio Code automatically suggests me so many colors. And you see one thing, if you could see one thing, for most of the color, at the end, after hashtag, there is some code also written, correct? There is some code also written. Fine. Now, there are more than 256 colors in this range, people, or in this list. I hope you got my point. 256, there are more than 256 colors in this range. Right? And if you do not like all these 256 colors, I hope you got my point. CSS says you even do not like this 256. You want to make your own color, then you have to make use of the function RGB. Alright, RGB, need not to say, where R stands for red, G for green and B for blue. I hope you got my point. Right, now before I could teach you RGB, look this thing very clearly. Okay, see this is my Word file already opened. Okay, this is my Word file open. I select some text, say this entire, all these lines of CSS properties. I go to home because I want to change the color. So let me change the font color. Okay, I'm not satisfied with this standard color, so I go to more color. Okay. I say custom because I don't want to select the color from this palette also. Custom means I will make the color. हम बनाएंगे. Color का shade मैं select करूँगा. So we go to custom. You see how it asks you here, RGB. right? So if I keep them all 0, 0, 0 and 0, okay, what color it forms, my friend? Keep checking here where it is new and current written. Okay, 0, 0, 0 means it will form a black color. Right? The maximum number or value which you can write here is 255. Okay, if any one of you comes from a graphics background or a networking background, 0 to 255 represents 1 byte. Okay, 255 is a maximum limit. You cannot go beyond 255. उसके आगे नहीं जा सकते आप. Okay, so this is green. I also set maximum value. This is blue. I set again maximum value. So if all 0, 0, 0, the color formed will be darkest, that is black. Look, this is the scale of 0 to 255. If RGB तीनों भी combination 255, 255, 255 में से लिया, so it will form the lightest color, that is white. I hope you got my point. Correct? Select blue for example. Select blue. And now when I will move the marker of this scale up and down, keep checking how the numbers are reflecting. And keep looking here also. See, the more you go towards 0, it is becoming dark. Am I right? And more you go towards 255, see, the blue is becoming light blue, light blue, light blue, another shade of blue, light blue, light blue, light blue. इतना light हो गया कि बेचारा अभी white दिखता है. Is it okay? So this is how RGB decides the color. Okay. And suppose if I write only 255 and these both 0, this both 0, that means what? That is only red. Similarly, I'm little fast now. If I write only 255 here, that means you selected only green. Similarly, if I write 255 in the last box, that means only blue. And if I select 255, 255, that means green and blue, whatever color that forms in a combination. Okay, and red and green, at least if I'm not wrong, is it yellow? Red and green. Okay, because we are in the lightest shade. Okay, one more time. Yes, I think it is. Is it okay? Fine. So if you talk about red and green, the combination will produce yellow color. Is that okay? Fine. And suppose if you take any other combination like this way, say this, take it this one, 19, 168, 203. So this will be the shade of the color. Okay, that means red is very less, green is little more, and blue color in this shade is highest. I hope you got my point. Fine. So how much percentage of red color you want, how much percentage of green color you want, how much percentage of blue color you want to form your own shade. So that's what RGB shows. Okay, so if I write here 40, 40, 40, let me see what color it would be. Look, so quick your CSS is. It has quickly showed you that this would be the color. You understood? Look where the circle is, people. Circle is on the screen. Somewhere here, this would be the color if you select this way. So if I make here 140, 140, okay, I think this will be the color. Good. Is it okay? Hope you are understanding. So let's check border color. Okay, so that's how it is changing. Did I save the program? Yes, I have. Okay, instead of border color, let us try to take a background color because that will be more clearly visible. So RGB so and so. This is how it is becoming. Is it okay? And that's what I was saying. If I just keep R255 0, 0, that means you selected only red color. That's how it is working. Is it okay? Fine. Acha. Along with RGB, then there is one more function that comes called as RGB and A, where A actually stands for transparency. You understood? RGB, red, green, blue, हम उसको लिखते हैं A, but हम उसे पढ़ते हैं. While reading we pronounce it to be. It supports how much transparent and how much opaque. Right? You have to give value of A between 0 to 1 only. I repeat, RGB, that is red, green, blue for sure. But A factor in RGBA is to support transparency. How much opaque you want, how much transparent you want. And you can specify this value only in the range of 0 to 1. Check it out how. Those of my friends jinko nahi samjha, check it out how. So if I write 0, fourth argument. Oh, it's very transparent. The color itself is gone. So if I make 0.1, because the highest number which you can write here is 1. Oh, could you see the transparency effect, people? Check the background color. So if I write 0.5, that means 50% transparency. Is this okay? So this is how red with 50% transparency effect looks like. I hope you got my point. These all becomes very, very applicable and certain when we deal with motion graphics people. I hope you got my point, where you have to be very, very correct, appropriate in giving the visual effects. You understand? उसे red होकर भी हमको ऐसा बताना है. I hope you got my point. Alright? So it's a morning time, or it's an evening time, or it's a late evening time. But the color is red, but we still have to give that blurred effect, or maybe some kind of opaqueness or transparent effect. So all these things are played with when you're especially working with this kind of graphics or motion graphics. Fine. So if I write 8, you will see it is more on the verge of becoming red now, correct? And if I write the highest value, that's 1 or 1.0, whatever, that's complete red. So this is how the color of red, or let me say the shade of the red, has kept becoming transparent. Is that okay? All of us, I pause here for a moment. Any doubt from your end? Some question, interesting fact, would you like to share or ask? Good to go? Try, my friend, try. Because once JavaScript starts, now we won't be talking this exclusively about CSS. Understood? Our more efforts will be behind coding rather than designing. You understood? हमारा ज़्यादातर ध्यान फिर coding पर रहेगा. That means logic building, rather than just designing, playing with the colors, putting it left, right, up, down, and so on. Okay, good to go. Fine, good to go. Okay, so this is RGB. Alright, fine. Now, if I could go to third method of writing the color, this is using hexadecimal notation. I write down this word somewhere. Okay, let me write it down here. Hex or hexadecimal notations. Okay, remember, when we say binary, that means we are talking only about 2 digits, 0, 1. That's the reason it is bi, total 2. When you talk about decimal, that means 0 to 9. Our number system, people. The number system, thank you. The number system in which we studied mathematics, that is decimal, correct? Right from our school days, college days, what we studied mathematics and other numerical subjects, that is in a decimal number system from 0 to 9. Why decimal? Deca means 10. 0 to 9 means total 10 combination. Right? Fine. Okay. Now when someone says hexa means total 16. 0 to F. Okay, this is altogether a different number system. Those who have never heard about hexadecimal number systems, especially our friends who are watching or will watch later from non-IT sessions or non-IT backgrounds. Hexa में क्या होता है? It starts from 0 like our decimal number system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After 9 we never write 10. Instead we write, anybody? Anybody from your end? Someone who already knows about hexadecimal number system? In fact, in modern electronics nowadays, hexadecimal color codes and hexadecimal system is very common. आप में से कोई बता सकता है 9 के बाद 10? It's correct. Chirag is right. It's like ABCDEF. Correct, my friend. Arun is in fact more correct. A is A. and Priyanshu has in fact decoded for us. A is 10. I think he deleted the message. That was right, Priyanshu. A is 10, B is 11, C is 12. Good, many of you have written. D is 13, E is 14, and F is 15. So 0 to 15. Thanks everyone. Thank you so much for that. We are proud that most of our audiences are aware. Good, please. So this is the last one. I hope you got my point. So जैसा पिछली बार हमने लिखा था RGB 44 means 44 unit of red color out of 255. Is that clear? So this time when you are using hexadecimal system, you just have to write hashtag and define the hex code. How will you define the hex code? In 6 digit. So first 2 for R. This is R. Let me write like this. First 2 for R, then 2 code for G, and then 2 code for P. Alright. So for R, you can select any combination from 0 to F. Let me say I selected 3 and 4. That means this much unit of or intensity of red color. You understood? This proportion of red or this much intensity of red color. Instead of writing 3, 4, I can also write 3E or 3B or A or 3C. But 3C means what? This much intensity of red color. Okay, 3C in hexadecimal will be something XYZ in decimal. I hope you got my point. We are not learning number conversion system that I decode and show you right now. 3C उसका कोड है people. वो कोड है. हो सकता है decimal में it is equivalent to 168 or 264 or 312. But when you write 3C or 2A or 1B or 14A, it actually holds some value. Understood? If you decode, you will come to know how much it is in our decimal number system. But this much intensity of red we want. Okay, 7, 9. This much intensity of green I want, and let me say FA. This much intensity of blue we want. Okay, so this becomes a color code of a color. Hexadecimal is a very rich color system. In fact, it allows you to provide or set more than 256 million possible color ranges. Are you understanding what I'm talking? 256 possible color choices or 256 million possible color choices. That's really great. I hope you got my point. Is that clear? 256 million color. If you have ever seen at times, how that Philips bulb they advertise. You understand? You can set the color of the bulb from the app, Philips app. You purchase the bulb, you install app in your phone, and you can select the color out of so many millions of colors available, and that is how it will change the light. So वो सब hexadecimal number system है. Hoping you are understanding. Okay, how these number systems are actually used in the modern days mobile phone app or desktop application app or website kind of app and so on. Is that clear? Fine. So this is how it becomes or it is. So let me say hashtag. Okay, background color. So FF AA 4B. Okay, you could see how quick it was to form that color. I think it's a light shade of saffron or something. Good, thank you. Oh, here it is. Am I right? This is, at times is very helpful, especially when it comes to any automobile coloring. For example, tomorrow BMW wants to bring up with a car and the color shade of the car has to be so specific. Understood? That means, and we need to be proud that we brought this color. I hope you got my point. Right? So this is where we actually make different possible combinations of color on the computer. We make one sample of it and then we design one product based on it. Okay? That's what is hex. This is how you can play with the color. I will stop with this 1 or 2 combination. You have to try with the others. बाकी का आप try करिए. Okay. So let me say hashtag 33, 40, 44 and 55. Okay, I think it's a simple color. Instead of 55, I could write 5A, or this is 4B, or this is 3C. Okay, Good. So this is what color we ended up making. God knows what the name of that color would be. I hope you got my point. हमको तो पता भी नहीं है भाई इस कलर का नाम क्या होगा. But somewhat we have ended up. Is that okay to all of us? Fine. So these are the different color systems. Maybe it is RGB or RGBA or hexadecimal. I would like to give you one additional stuff as a homework today. Be prepared by tomorrow. What is an HSL system? HSL, L for lion. Alright, I discussed about RGB, I discussed about RGBA with transparency and opaqueness. We also discussed in depth about hexadecimal system. HSL, hue, saturation and level, people. You keep studied about it and explain to me tomorrow in short in the chat section what exactly it is. Take it as a homework for self-study. We need to have that curiosity to learn more and explore. Yeah. Light, Chirag, if more than light, if you could say level, that would be more correct. Good, yeah. Hue, saturation and level, right. Correct, but that's a full form. I'm glad you know the full form. Alright, come tomorrow with the meaning of what is hue, what is saturation, what are level. This is in fact supported by your MS Word also. I hope you got it. Is that okay? Fine. Alright guys, now if that is understood, if that is understood and we have no doubts from the audience's side, let's move on to a little more advanced topic of CSS called as transformation. You have to understand transformation. This will be useful to us in the upcoming sessions. इसकी हमको आगे ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है. Alright, so have a look. Now when I talk about transformation, this is our rough work. Let me start from here. When we talk about transformation, first of all, there are three primitive means what? Primary. Three basic transformation. First called as translation, rotation and scaling. Okay, we all understand English meaning of the word transformation, right? Transform means change. Now you have to understand what gets changed when. When you say translation, only the position is changed. This transformation, translation, changes the position along x-axis and y-axis. Alright guys, hello everyone. X-axis means along the width of the screen or height. X-axis means what? Width, चौड़ाई या लंबाई. X-axis means what? Come on, be quick. What does x-axis deals with? Width of the screen. Am I right? And what about the y-axis? It deals with the height of the screen. That is number of rows up and down. Correct. Chirag is right. And x-axis means width when measured in terms of number of columns. Correct? More columns, more will be the width. Good. Width. So always remember, x-axis means width. Y-axis deals with height. Okay, so it will translate. Say you want an object from one place to another place, especially for those of our friends who are interested in gaming. Alright, say I want to show ball at this position of the screen, X is height. Correct. And then after some time I want to show the ball at that position of the screen and this position of the screen and so on. In fact, these transformation effects are so commonly used in ordinary games like Counter-Strike or some other like a Polo and all. Hoping you understand. Correct. Rotation, very simple. The meaning is fine. Changes in the position along the circular path. Okay. Remember, translation is always a linear changes in the position. But when you talk about rotation, rotation is always a rotational or a circular change in the position. Say I want to rotate an object from 90 degree to 110 degree. Or maybe I want to rotate an object anti-clockwise. I hope you got my point. Is that okay? So I want to see a clock moving on the screen. Right? So that is what is rotation. This is how we can give the effects. And when you say scaling, mostly this is a kind of zoom effect, people. Zoom effect, especially on your mobile phone, if you try to zoom a particular part, even while going through Instagram, I cannot pause if I cannot open or I cannot download, but at least I can zoom and see the post, correct? Right? So there are two types of zoom effect which is called as scaling. हम जिसको zoom बोलते हैं, coding पीछे scaling use करता है. Clear? Okay, the coding makes use of scaling. It is not a mobile who is zooming. It is an app who is supporting zoom. I hope you got my point. Yes, Naveen. I think day 9 notes are also left. It's in my mind. It's in my mind. Is that okay? Come on, zoom effect. That is what is scaling. And but when you talk about zoom, there is two possibilities: zoom in and zoom out. Okay, because we can minimize also, we can maximize also. The correct terms could be we can shrink and we can expand. Correct? Let's see that quickly. I'm not creating any different shape here. Let me use that same paragraph with the background which we just created. Correct? The one which is here. Ye wala. Alright, or you want to can work with image. Come on, this is what my advice to you. When you take this concepts for practice back home, आप इसको image के साथ करना. Move image from one place to another. I hope you got my point. Okay, so like sometimes we say touch this, click on the like button and it will rotate. So this is how the coding is done behind. I hope you understood. Okay, so let's see how to do that. So let me say transform. Okay, now transformation can be rotation, transformation can be translation, scaling. There is one more transformation effect called as skewness. Which one you want to use? I want to use translate. I hope you got my point. I want to use translate. Now, whenever you translate, you have to specify how much along X and how much along Y. Okay, so say I want to translate 50 pixel on the left, as an X matlab width, and 100 pixel as a height. I say you could see that effect. The box has moved somewhere right and down. Is that okay? And suppose if I change it to 150 pixel and here also 200 pixel. Okay, so it is translating, means it is shifting. Someone who can acknowledge in the chat box you're understanding translation, right? Translation you're understanding. Is translation clear? No guys, you have to respond in the chat section. Good, thank you. Okay, and instead of translation, in case if I want to use rotation, so let me write rotate. Okay, but when you're writing rotate, you have to provide angles in degree. Good. Say I want to rotate it by 40 degree. You could see it got rotated. And if I say minus 40 degree, so this side, that means clockwise and anti-clockwise, correct? This is how it is going, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Alright? So let me do like this. Transform. First translate to 100 pixel. 100 pixel. Means do translation also. And do rotation also. I hope you got my point. Do translation, do rotation. So if I could say yes, I think so. This is the maximum that it got affect. Alright, you change the width and check. So let me change the width as 200. I think this is still clear, correct? So instead of 40 degree rotation, if I could rotate to 140 degree. Alright, people, 360 is maximum, right? starting from 0 degree to 360 degree. This is how the circle goes, or the circular path in a rotational motion moves. Is that okay? Fine. What is the difference between 40 and minus 40? One will rotate the object clockwise, other will rotate the object anti-clockwise. Hoping you are understanding. Is that okay? Fine. And if I make use of scale people, scale, right? Okay. Now you don't have to write very big number for scale. Suppose I write 2 and 2. Okay. 2 means what? Double the size. Double the size along x-axis and double the size along y-axis. Zoom out ho gaya. See, the box became bigger. And if I write 0.5, 0.5 means what? Half? Yes, half. Correct, Preeti, if you are talking about the width. 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, Preeti, I didn't understand. Width means you are asking me to change the width, or you are writing it as just as a message. Anyways, 0.5 means what? Half of the width. See, it became that this is zoom in. Right. So if I write instead of 0.5 and 3, that means what? Along x-axis it will become half of the size. But along y-axis it will be 3 times bigger. You got my point? I hope you got my point. Along y-axis it will go 3 times bigger. Is it okay? Fine. So let's see, 3 times means what? Oh, it's too big. It's going out of the screen. You better bring it a little down. Hoping you are understanding. That's clear. Fine. Okay, so these are basic 2D transformation, but try to understand, transformations are not only 2D. We can also have 3D effects. Animation we will teach you, Navin. Okay, animation we will teach you for animation, but it is better if you learn both CSS and Bootstrap. I hope you got my point. It's a ahead topic. ये और 2 lecture, 1 lecture के बाद का topic है animation. I hope you got my point. For animation, you need to be aware about the keyframe. But unfortunately, I won't be able to teach you keyframe today. It's a big topic. Okay, but animation is a part of syllabus. See, I think we have mentioned here. I have mentioned here. Okay, if I'm not, you look here, keyframe animations. Okay, so today we have not reached till there. We have done just transformation property. Transition is yet to be done. Okay, transition and keyframe. Transition will set the time delay. Understood? 0.5 second, 0.1 second, 1 second, 2 second. So transition and keyframe. Yes. Transition and keyframe together will help us to set the animation. Most probably, 99%, most probably, tomorrow we will do this. That will be interesting. In fact, be on time in the first half. Okay, try to be on time in the first half. We will try to finish transition effect, keyframe effect. And then after 4:30, we will take a responsive website. Okay, responsive images and responsive website. So most part of CSS, that is chapter 9 and chapter 10, what we have written in most of the part, we will tend to complete tomorrow. Is it okay? I hope that's clear. Fine. Acha, before I could wind up the session today, आपके practice करने के लिए, I would like you to do 2-3 more things. Something called as a gradient effect. No, Akila, SVG is different. Akila, if you're talking about SVG to what? Rotation and all, SVG can draw only the static shapes. SVG cannot give the transformation effects like translation, rotation and scaling. Try to understand. I hope that's okay. Fine. And correct me if in case if I got your point wrong. I hope you got it. Is that okay? Ma'am, we are able to adjust things using width, height, margin, padding. Then for what specifically? No, Chirag, your point is actually incorrect. We can margin, height, padding will only set alignment. Understood? If rest of our friends are also reading what Chirag has posted to us, margin, width, height, padding, उससे सिर्फ alignment होता है. You tell me, will this be able to give a zoom out effect? Am I right? Every time, suppose in the website, anyone who clicks on this text, or if it is a sensor, that screen has suppose, like anyone who tries to expand it, the size should be increased. That cannot be done through padding or setting margin and height. Absolutely different. गलत हो जाएगा. Okay, transformations are only used to give some kind of special effects. Like the moment you click on a particular link and it will automatically become large in size. So just a pop out होता है. I hope you got my point. Is it okay? Right? For example, you want to give some login effect. So you want to show things rotating. Continuously rotating. Say clock. You understood? Say clock you want to go. So margin की बात करो with height padding. That will never ever bring the effects of rotation or scaling or even translation. I hope you got my point. ठीक है, people, we will take another 5 minutes of yours and apologies for that. Just 5 more minutes. Would like to talk in short about gradient as much as we can complete. Otherwise, we'll deal with it tomorrow. Okay, now what is this gradient? Okay, what is this gradient? Okay, gradient, people. This is ideally to give a multiple color effects. Okay, special effects or multiple color effects. Slowly, steadily you understand. Try to deal with them one by one. There are total 3 types of gradient. Total 3 types of gradient. First one called as a linear gradient, then radial gradient, and then conical gradient. Cone, people, conical. Right? Now what happens in a linear gradient? Suppose in place of background image, have I used image here? I don't want background color. This is ideally given in place of background image. Okay, gradients are actually substitutes of an images. Okay, so let me say linear gradient and give a color, say red comma green. I chose this color. You can choose color of your choice. Okay, see what happens. Okay, let me do one thing, please. Let me remove these effects. I don't want border color. I'm deleting them. The better option is to comment them. Okay, the better option is like this way. You should comment them so that in the future, if we need, we always have them. You saw red and green. And suppose if I make use of one more color, red, green, say violet. Are you understanding? And you could see by default it is going from top to bottom. ये ऊपर से नीचे जा रहा है. You want it to go towards right, so you can give the direction here like this. Say to right. Check it works or not. You could see it is going to right. If you want it to go like this way to right top. Okay, you could see a little slanting right and top. I hope you got my point, etc. So what if I use this 3 color? What if I use it? Say can I use saffron? No. Okay, I think for saffron I will have to make use of RGB and make one. So let me use orange. Okay, instead of green, let me use white. And let me use green. Hoping you understand. Getting it? Fine. Right bottom, right top, top right, bottom left. The way you want it to move. There is no limit to the color. As many colors as you want, you can give it. This is how the gradients are working. I hope you got my point. Is it okay? Fine. Otherwise, I have written a lot of things here. Like, if you want it to move in your own way, so instead of right and left, you can also write here by degree. Say 45 degree. Check it works. Not working. I don't have to give space here. That's my error. You understanding it? So if I use by 145 degree, okay, so this is how it is moving. Like you want to set the degree, how should it move? The gradient का flow कैसे चाहिए? You want to set it. I hope you're getting it. Is that clear? Fine. So this is how the gradients are being set. And one more interesting thing, if you want to see, say you want it to be repeating. You want it to be repeating. Look what to be used in that case. Instead of linear gradient, we can say repeating linear gradient. Repeating linear gradient. But in that case, you have to provide the percentage of colors in which you want. Say let us work with two colors first. Two colors. So let's say red color 30% and yellow color maybe 70%. Okay, more or less is okay. See how it works. What happened? It's not going. Okay, let me reduce the percentages and check. 10, 20. No? Okay, fine. I'll keep it tested by tomorrow and see what's the problem there. Okay, falling short of time, that's the reason. Never mind, it would be something here and there. So instead of linear gradient, let's talk about radial gradient. Radial gradient. Alright, radial gradient means what? You want the gradient effect to be in a rotational or a circular path. Okay, but remember for a radial gradient, see, start like this. Say I give red first and green then. Check how does it work. Semicolon. You understood? So if I set like this, red 5% and green whatever. Let me not set anything. Okay, so the proportion is proportionally a little lesser. Correct. What if you want more than two colors? Say I want red, green and blue. Okay, and suppose you'd want the shape of the radial as a circle, people. Check it out now. It is circle. Otherwise, by default, it will be ellipse. Understood? Circle ये अभी दिखता है. Default, it is nothing but an ellipse. Hoping you understand. Bus. That are the only two shapes for the radial gradient that we can set. Alright. And suppose if you want conics. Okay, say you want conic shape. So you just give, see what happens when it is conic. 3 gradient. Linear gradient we saw, radial gradient which works in a circular path. So if it is a conic gradient, and if I specify the two color, say red and yellow, conic gradient. 2 minutes, wait and watch. Okay, you see this is not circular, people. The color is distributed across the center, correct? Fine. So red and yellow, this color is approximately, or let me say properly distributed across the center. So if I write one more color, say which one should I take? Say magenta. Okay, magenta. Okay, so that has also been, shared across the center. Is that okay? All of us. I will send the attendance link, people. Attendance link I'll send. Hold on for a moment, please. Hold on. A very quick recap of what we have learned today. Very quick recap. I keep the code open to you. We started with some rounded corners kind of effect that can be given. One side rounded corner or all the 4 side rounded corners. Then we moved on to understand what are the different colors and color effects that can be used, like RGB, RGBA. What else? Hexadecimal, HSL. I have asked you to study and come back tomorrow. Let me see if you understand on your own. Hue, saturation. Alright, fine. Then we moved on to understand what are the transformation effect. Three basic transformation that we studied is translation, rotation and scaling. Alright. 3D transformation हमको अगर कभी भी करने का मौका मिला, if you get a time opportunity to understand 3D transformation, I will also show you what is a skewness. Fine. Okay, later on we finally understood what are the gradients. That is nothing but a special background that we can set, whether it is a linear gradient, radial gradient or a conical gradient. I hope you got it. Okay, fine. Sending you an attendance link. All these piece of code, my rough notepad file that I used during the lecture, today's and the last one, I will be sharing shortly. Okay. Okay, so this is the form link. Here we go. And for any one of you who are new with us today and wanna join our WhatsApp group to access the class used material, this is what I've shared. Is that okay? Fine. Alright guys. See you back tomorrow. I actually intended to start with JavaScript today. Sorry for my promise, we could not keep due to lack of time. But I acknowledge you. Tomorrow, we will anyhow try to write at least one JavaScript program. I hope we will give you enough practice of JavaScript. Be assured for that. So let us begin from tomorrow with a fresh mind. But responsibility at your end, you need to be consistent in practice. उसमें ढील छोड़ दी ना आपने, चला गया सब. Understood? You have to be very consistent. ट्रेनर या फैकल्टी आपको एक चीज पढ़ाता है, आप उसके बारे में 10 चीज एक्सप्लोर करो. Understood? Hundreds of things in the world of web development and full stack that can be learned, and you can keep yourself ahead of others. Clear? Fine. Goodbye. See you back tomorrow sharp at 4 p.m. for day 11 at full stack development. Please do like our work if you indeed like the efforts taken, and do invite your other friends also to join and subscribe our channel so that they can gain the benefit of what is being provided.